Welcome to Oval World. This is episode 2 of Ealeo Magic Drawing. Don't worry, it's easier than you think. This time, we're drawing wireless earbuds. It is made up of 11 basic shapes. Start by importing the Ealeo brush set and practice file. Inside, you'll find 11 basic shape outline layers, already labeled in order for easy reference. Of course, you can also start from scratch. Alright, let's begin. Match your brush and colors to the settings shown above. If you're using the practice file, feel free to skip this part. Create a new layer and draw the combined outline COA. I won't go into the theory here, you'll find a detailed explanation in the book. Create another layer and draw the outer outline OO. Create one more layer and draw the inner outline IO. Now let's begin the magic operation. Switch to the eraser and select a highlight brush. Select the OO layer and erase the excess lines. Repeat the same process on the IO layer. Then pinch with 2 fingers to merge the layers. And just like that, basic shape number 1 outline is complete. If you are using the practice file, you can jump in here. Next, erase the internal structure. Keep the same color settings and drag to fill. And that's basic shape number 1 complete. Now let's move on to layered coloring. Create a new layer above the basic shape. Tap the empty area of the layer. From the menu, select Clipping Mask. Your clipping mask is now ready. Use the brush and color settings shown above. Create the highlight layer. Switch to the eraser and refine the edges to create a mirror highlight. Switch to another eraser brush and soften the highlights. Finally, switch brushes again and create the bevel along the dashed line. And that's the layered coloring for basic shape number 1 complete. Pretty easy, right? Let's move on to basic shape number 2. Before we start, let's draw a few diamonds. This part matters. New layer. Brush 2. Match the settings above. Draw a diamond outline. Same color. Drag to fill. Swipe left on the layer and tap Duplicate. Switch to the Selection tool and move it to the right. Merge the layers, then duplicate and move again. Repeat until you form a diamond matrix. Switch to the Selection tool. Tap Warp and adjust the curvature of the matrix. That's your AirPods mesh pattern. Now, basic shape number 2. New layer, combined outline. Create new layers for the inner outline and outer outline. Select each outline layer and erase excess lines. Merge all layers. This gives us the outline of basic shape number 2. Switch to the eraser and erase the internal structure. Same color, drag to fill. Place the diamond matrix above the shape. Create a clipping mask. Remember how to do it. New clipping mask layer. Paint shadows in layers. Duplicate the diamond matrix. Change the color with color drop. Move the duplicated layer slightly to create an offset mesh pattern. New clipping mask layer. Switch to the brush tool. Match the settings above and paint highlights. Tap the layer's end and set it to overlay. One more clipping mask layer. Don't forget to switch colors. Build shadows along the mesh edges layer by layer. With that, basic shape number 2 is complete. Moving on to basic shape number 3. the force sensor area on the stem. Create a new layer, switch to the brush tool, and draw the combined outline following the settings above. Create another layer and draw 2 connecting lines. And that completes the outline operation for basic shape number 3. Merge all layers, switch to the eraser, and erase the inner structure. Keep the same color and drag to fill. Basic shape number 3 requires 2 fills, an initial fill followed by a color swap. Switch to the target color and fill again. And that's basic shape number 3 done. Create clipping mask layer 1. Switch to the brush tool and paint the highlights using the settings above. A step guide is added here to show the brush path. Create clipping mask layer 2 and paint the shadows. And that completes basic shape number 3. Next, I'll be working out of shape order. If you're not using the practice file, make sure to keep the layer order correct. Moving on to basic shape number 8, the main body of the AirPods Pro. Create a new layer and draw the combined outline using the settings above. Create a new layer, draw the connecting lines and complete the outline operation. Merge all layers, switch to the eraser, and erase the inner structure. Keep the same color and drag to fill. Switch to the target color and fill again. And that's basic shape number 8 done. Create clipping mask layer 1. Switch to the brush tool and paint highlight 1. Create more clipping mask layers and build up the light and shadow layer by layer. Switch to the eraser and refine the shadow area using the dotted line as a guide. Create another clipping mask layer and continue building up the colors. And that completes basic shape number 8. Move on to basic shape 6 and draw the reflection area. Add a new layer. Select the brush and draw the combined outline using the settings above. Add a new layer and draw the outer outline with the same settings. Add a new layer and draw the inner outline. Add another layer and draw the connecting lines. Select the inner and outer outlines, switch to the eraser, and start the magic operation. Merge all layers and open up the inner structure. Fill with the outline color. Switch to the target color and fill again. Basic shape 6 doesn't need layered coloring. Switch the eraser brush and thin parts of the basic shape layers. Then change layer N to linear burn and drop opacity to 30%. That completes basic shape 6. Moving on to basic shape scene to draw the second reflective area. Create a new layer. Switch to the brush and draw the combined outline. Next, draw the inner outline and outer outline. Then draw the connecting lines. Switch to the eraser and start magic operation. Merge all layers to open up the inner structure. Then drag and drop color to fill and create a shape. Change the target color and refill to recolor. Switch the eraser brush to thin out the basic shape first. Switch to the brush, add a clipping mask layer. Check parameters and draw highlights. Create another clipping mask layer to draw shadows. That completes basic shape 7. Move on to basic shape 4 and draw the microphone mesh. Add a new layer and draw the combined outline using the settings above. Continue drawing the inner and outer outlines. Switch to the eraser and start the magic operation. Merge all layers and clear the inner structure. Fill with the same color. Add a CML. Switch to the brush and draw the inner thickness and bevel. Move on to basic shape Y and draw the metallic trim. Add a new layer and draw the combined outline using the settings above. Continue drawing the inner and outer outlines. Switch to the eraser and start the magic operation. Merge all layers and clear the inner structure. Fill with the outline color. Switch to the target color and fill again. Add a CML. Switch to the brush and paint the dark layers. Follow the settings and paint the light layers. Paint the light bevels and highlight reflection areas. Finally, paint the dark bevels and diffuse reflection areas. Basic shapes 4 and 5 are complete. Move on to basic shape 9 and draw the ear cup connection. Add a new layer and draw the inner and outer outlines using the settings above. Switch to the eraser and start the magic operation. Merge all layers, keep the same color and fill. Switch to the target color and fill again. Add the CML, switch to the brush and paint the light areas. Follow the settings and paint the dark areas to complete basic shape 9. Continue with basic shape 10. Basic shape 10 is created with a single oval. Add a new layer and draw the oval outline using the settings above. Keep the same color and fill. Before coloring, you can turn on the hidden basic shape layer for reference. Add a CML and draw the reflection area and dark shadow. This completes basic shape 10. Move on to the final basic shape 11. Add a new layer and draw the inner and outer outlines using the settings above. Switch to the eraser and start the magic operation. Merge all layers, clear the inner structure, and fill with the same color. Switch to the target color and fill again. Add a CML, switch to the brush and paint the dark areas. Add another CML and paint the rim light and highlights using the settings above. You can also turn on the hidden layer for reference. Add a CML and paint the bevel areas. The entire headphone is now complete. See you in the next tutorial.